Eddie Hall, one of the strongest men who's ever lived, just had his one-on-one MMA debut. He did a handicap match between two guys before, but this is like his real first MMA fight in the super heavyweight division against the KSW veteran, also multiple-time world's strongest man, Mariusz Pudzianowski. Eddie Hall absolutely destroyed him in 30 seconds. Tom Aspinall must be proud, who has trained with Eddie Hall multiple times. Tom Aspinall, as we all know, is arguably the best heavyweight in the world right now, or one of them. And Eddie Hall came out in the fight with a good stance, for his first fight ever. He didn't detour away from his stance like a lot of other new MMA fighters would. He galloped forward, so instead of a traditional step forward to walk into the opponent, he actually hops forward in a galloping motion, bringing his rear foot forward first. This is an indicator that he's going to plant himself for some big punch, sitting on with all of his power, and throws a classic jab straight. Tom Aspinall is probably really happy seeing him throw that, as that's the main combo he knocks everybody out with. Now, of course, Eddie Hall's not going to have the same kind of speed and athleticism as Tom Aspinall, but the force behind his punches is absolutely ridiculous. 334 pounds, right? It's not a lot of snap the way he throws it. He has good extension with the jab to measure for his right hand, and you see Pudzianowski throw his own jab forward to intercept the forward movement of Eddie Hall. But as Hall's throwing the right hand, there's sometimes a natural head movement toward the left, which is following the leverage of the punch. And Eddie Hall wraps around the arm of Pudzianowski with his own right and clobbers him with that punch, shakes him up. Pudzianowski was already stunned from the punch, the very first punch that lands in the fight. And Eddie Hall, again, does kind of the same thing, throws a jab in straight. The jab grazes Pudzianowski, the right hand gets ducked under. But even though Hall's punch missed, he's still in a very good position, colliding with his smaller opponent. That's where he's going to be able to use his insane strength, put it on display to show everybody in the world why you don't grapple with Eddie Hall. So Pudzianowski gets into the clinch. He has a left underhook. He's trying to control Eddie Hall, where Hall does show some of his inexperience. He's just throwing punches, relying on his brute strength to finish out the fight. Eddie Hall is swarming Pudzianowski with everything he has. He lands maybe the shortest left hook of all time and lands the shot. And the punch has so much force, it knocks Pudzianowski off balance, where he's supposed to have the control in the clinch. He has double underhooks, trying to body lock Eddie Hall, which is very tough to do because of how wide he is. And that punch, which is not supposed to be that powerful, given how short it is, it still knocks his opponent off balance. Insane. So then Pudzianowski is leaning to his left. He's trying to get his balance, and Eddie Hall starts hitting the back of his head multiple times, which drops Pudzianowski. The referee should have stepped in there because every punch from Eddie Hall is lethal. Even one shot to the back of the head could do some serious damage when you weigh 334 pounds. And also being one of the strongest men in the world. Then Eddie Hall tries to follow up with a ground and pound shot, misses the punch it seems like, and he loses balance, which allows Pudzianowski to get an opening for a double leg takedown. He's driving forward, and Eddie Hall throws in a left overhook, uses that whizzer, and literally just throws his opponent across the cage. Mind you, the fighter he's going up against is 267 pounds, also one of the strongest men in the world. And he threw him across the cage and finished the fight with ground and pound after. There were 3 shots to the back of the head, one of them as Pudzianowski was rotating, but the other 2 were blatantly to the back of the head. And the thing is, Eddie Hall is still new to MMA, so it should be on the referee to step in there and stop him from that, man. Multiple shots to the back of the head from a guy like this is very dangerous to his opponent. But the fight was finished in less than 30 seconds. And I don't know if the UFC would ever sign Eddie Hall to fight, but I don't think Eddie Hall wants to make like a professional run in the UFC or something. Maybe like a one-off fight like Tai Tuivasa or something like that. Super heavyweight fight. So great win for Eddie Hall. The guy hits hard. He's insanely strong. The way he threw him with that whizzer was crazy. The way he threw him, you would think that Pudzianowski weighed like 200 pounds or something. Absolutely ridiculous, man. And hopefully he has some more fights. Hopefully they can get some other super heavyweights to fight him. That'd be really cool. And the more training he gets with Tom Aspinall and with his coaches, Eddie Hall's only going to get better if he is focused on trying to get better, of course. I don't know if that's going to be his last fight. I don't know if it's just like something he wanted to try out. He's had a boxing fight with Hafthor Bjornsson. Now he has an MMA fight with Pudzianowski. I don't know if next is grappling or whatever it is, but it's always fun to see Eddie Hall try out these combat sports as the specimen that he is. You don't often see a lot of guys that big and strong compete in combat sports.